Hello, everyone out there who is joining me tonight for the live stream, the first one of 2022. It's super great to be back behind the mic. It feels like it has been a while. I guess it has been a while because I haven't done a live stream for about 6 or so weeks. So, thank you for being patient. I am back. Last time I had to cancel. I was a bit under the weather, and I had a lot of people messaging me asking me if I had COVID. I didn't. So I'm all good for now at least, because where I live, that thing is exploding like there is no tomorrow. But I guess that's the world we live in now. So you just keep safe and do what you do. Whatever you believe, you do you, man, because it doesn't affect me. So, guys, it is good to be back. It's good to be back. So I just want to let everyone know that the lines are open. So if you do want to call in, share an encounter that you had it maybe in the new year, over the new year period, over Christmas, or even 20 years ago, I'd love to hear from you. The call-in line is 0730403096. And you just call that number, and I'll be talking to whoever calls in, because these lines are completely unscreened. So it's always exciting. You never know who's going to call, which is always good fun. So guys and girls and everyone in between, I guess, what are you thinking of season 13 so far? I dropped a bit of a bombshell episode this week with Tyson's UFO encounter. Whew, that is a very good episode, and I might actually bring up his UFO video for us to all look at if you haven't seen it yet. It is on this YouTube channel. If you just click on the videos, you'll find a copy of it there. But it's really fascinating, and what I like about it is that the videos actually started a lot of really good level-headed conversation on YouTube, which is rare. It's the only way I'll put it. But it's created really good conversation between people about, they're wondering if it's a celestial body. Every chance in the world it is. Absolutely not, though, if you listen to Tyson's episode and I guess retelling of what happened that night. Tyson even excluded some things from the conversation that were kind of next level. And look, maybe he saw some things on the hill as well. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it was a really good episode, and it's so super rare that we get people who actually pull out their phones and capture the event that's happening. I think for him, it lasted over like 5 or 10 minutes. So he had quite a bit of time to gather his thoughts, and he was there with like a group of people. So he wasn't the only one who saw this thing. So that's really cool that happened. So yeah, if you haven't listened to that, make sure you go back and check that out, because it has been quite a popular episode, which is quite surprising. Another thing that was quite surprising with the podcast in 2021 is that an episode went mega viral all around the world. It was the Dogman episode from I believe last season, where we had a gentleman who saw a potential dogman in the outskirts of Greater Sydney. And he too also had his phone on him, so he was able to capture a couple of images and things like that. Anyway, this story got picked up by some of the biggest news outlets in the world. The New York Post did a completely massive article on it. A couple of the Independent, which is quite a large newspaper over in the UK, they picked it up too. And from there, it's just a whole bunch of, like, even Lad Bible of all places picked the episode up, and that really just kind of excelled the podcast into all these new faces, which is so great. So, if there's anything that you want to do to help the podcast, the best thing you can do out there is share it with one person, just one person. If everyone did that, double the listenership, and who knows who may contact us after that, because for me, it's not so much about getting listeners. It's more so about getting people in touch with me so they can share their encounters. So I guess the only way that happens though is if those people listen to the encounters on the podcast. So let me know, guys, do you have any New Year's resolutions? So right now, if you're listening to the audio version of this, you're a legend, because that means you're a Believe Plus supporter. If you want to support the show on Believe Plus, you can do that. Head to the website. That's believepod.com/plus. $5 a month will get you a bonus episode every month, ad-free episodes, and higher quality audio, along with the video replay of what you're seeing here right now. So if you like to see this mug talking rather than just it in your ears, you can do that. You can do that on Believe Plus if that's what you're into. So yeah, look, guys, if I'd love to know what what's your plans for the new year, because I'm talking directly to the Facebook chat. Sorry, not Facebook, on YouTube here. I'd love to know what your plans are for the new year. What's some stuff that you might want to see on the podcast in the coming, I guess, seasons, things like that. I do have a little thing up my sleeve, which is going to be really cool. I'm going to do an episode, just one episode, in this completely new way. And I would love to hear the feedback. I know I'll get it, good or bad. I want to hear it all. So yeah, guys, it is really, really cool to just have the opportunity to talk to these types of people, and have the opportunity to maybe even experiment a little bit with the with the way the show works, because one thing that I'm realizing is that maybe I'm not the most important part of the podcast. Maybe it's the guests are, and I always know that. And maybe I could just do an episode where I'm not in the podcast. It's just the guest talking. So I'd love to hear what you think of that idea, because who knows, that may become the podcast format in many, many months to come, because it is a lot of work. So if you are watching this, I can see we've got a handful of viewers on the live stream. Let me know. Say g'day in the chat, and let me know what what you did for New Year's. You could have said I was isolating, man. I did nothing. I think a lot of people were probably in that same boat. So tonight I do want to just take a moment to remember a special moment I had a couple of weeks ago with a very special man. The the great Dean Harrison made the trip up the Cairns, and brought his whole family along, which was lovely. And I got to catch up with the great man himself. We had a cute, lovely little coffee date together, and we had some big plans for this, I guess, while we're catching up. But I'll tell you about that in a second. We do have a call on the line. So, caller, what's your name and where you from?
Hello, Shade. It's Shane. How are you going?
Very good, Shane. Happy New Year, mate.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Well, my New Year's resolution is not to break my knee again.
Oh, no. Did you break your knee before?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. It's 3 months now. I ripped the cartilage off the bone, so it's made a big mess, and I'm on a waiting list to actually talk to the doctor. They're that busy.
Yeah.
You got to get in and talk to them first. Yeah. Anyhow, 2 things happened. The day before you were supposed to do the last call-in show, which I've forgotten the date now. I guess I should have wrote it down. I was in the bathroom, and I just happened to look out the window, and I seen a dark, hairy head moving away from the window very fast. And it was like blink and you miss it sort of thing. It's like, what the hell was that? You have
a peeping Tom Yowie.
Yes, I do. if you've seen my post in Believe today, we're putting up more sensor lights. We do have one or two, but now we're putting up more sensor lights. It wasn't a human or a human head. It was too tall to be a human by about probably would have been 7 feet, I guess,
Wow.
in old measurements. Yeah. It was definitely too tall to be a human. It was very dark brown. It wasn't black, and it just moved away very fast. I didn't actually see its face. I seen its side of its head, but the strange thing was the head wasn't much bigger than a human's head.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's very weird. But obviously it had to be tall for where it was. It might have even been bending over to look in the window. It probably was watching me from the kitchen when I was in the kitchen, and then I walked into the bathroom, which is just the next room over, like 3 or 4 meters over. So that was that. That was my encounter. Now, my brother doesn't want to talk, but he had an encounter which has nothing to do with me. So we have an outside laundry on our house, and he opened the back laundry door, and he was doing the laundry with his back turned to the outside of the door, and he turned around, and there's a plant right beside the footpath. It's basically growing on the edge of the footpath. It's about half a metre high, 30 centimetres high, and the top 15 centimetres of it was slowly being, like he turned around seeing this, was slowly being pushed over, like it was being pulled over by an invisible something, but he couldn't see what it was, and it was slowly being pushed over, and the bottom 15 centimetres did not move, so it wasn't like it was caught on a piece of string or something, or anything like that.
A shoe brushing over it.
It's like a shoe brushing over it. Yeah.
Invisible.
Yeah, invisible.
Yeah.
So, that's his encounter. And obviously, then it flicked back.
But slowly.
Moved back slowly. Okay.
Like they were trying to creep out of the way.
Yeah. Like they were trying to get away, but it wasn't visible, whatever it was.
Wow.
So there's that. So you can understand why they're putting up sensor lights.
Yeah, mate. I don't blame you. It's how do those sensor lights go off? Do you know if it's like an infrared light or anything like that triggers that?
It's movement.
It's movement, but like a motion sensor. But I don't know.
It's a nighttime activated thing.
It's a nighttime activated sensor light. I've also got on eBay order a cheap trail cam. So we'll see how we go with that.
It wasn't windy that night either.
It wasn't windy that night. Bradley just added it wasn't windy that night.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, like, when you see like a movement like that, it's not kind of just natural, like the wind doesn't move like that or anything. When something's brushing up against something.
Yeah, especially when it's a plant that's in your backyard, how it behaves. And like if it was a string on it, it would have pulled the whole thing over.
If something like a cat ran through it.
If a cat ran through it, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah, he's telling me now, if a cat ran through it or something, it wouldn't have went the way it did. It would have moved fast and flicked back fast, So it wasn't like something was running away and it was too fast for him to see. It was moving.
It moved down and moved back in my vision. I've seen it.
Yeah, could you hear that?
Yeah.
So something was there, but it wasn't there.
Yeah.
What's that make you think?
Something was there.
Does that make you? What's that make you guys think about that property? Because it's super active.
Well, I mean, we've been here our whole life, but to me, the theory is I used to go and visit my friends down in another street late at night, and I used to come home drunk, and I'd walk home, and that was like a 1.5 kilometre walk, and that was from a bushier spot of the town to where I live. So, I mean, things could have followed me then. Heaps of people have said weird things about the whole area. And also, if you look on the map about Bargo, you can walk from Bargo if you're walking right through the Warragamba Dam area to the Blue Mountains. You can also walk from the Blue Mountains right past Bargo, across 2 roads, one's a freeway, and 1 railway, and you're in the Peon and Avon Dam area, and that, if you were a Yowie, you could walk straight from Katoomba, the Blue Mountains, straight through past Bargo. It's like a crossing area. And into the Peon Dam straight to Wollongong. You could go up to the Royal National Park, which is a big Yowie sighting area. You could go to Appin. It's all accessible. It's all accessible like we're in the middle of the pass, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of in that. I wonder if you're like in a, what do they call it when, animals are,
a bottleneck.
No, not a bottleneck. More like a the word is absolutely a migration path.
Yeah, migration path. Yeah, well,
like
that's
a wildlife corridor.
Yeah, wildlife corridor. I hope you can't hear the thunder. We're getting thunder at the moment.
No, I can't hear nothing like that. But very jealous, mate, because where I am, it's 32 degrees right now, so I'm dying for some rain.
Yeah, we got the opposite. I'm waiting for summer. We had 3 days of summer. We had 3 days of summer at Christmas. It's heading around 17 to 23 degrees every day here. It's terrible for summer. Yeah, but we're getting a lot of storms.
Oh, half your luck. Half your luck.
Yeah, but I mean, we're still getting bumps and taps and stuff like that, and Bradley's getting stuff like hanging around his window overnight. I'm getting stuff creeps up to my window. I heard it pushing leaves and breaking small twigs the other night as it was pushing past to get to my window, and that's just from a normal garden in the front yard, like a normal ornamental garden.
And we get possums and all that, and we know
we do get possums, but we know the difference with possums. Yeah, that's a different sound.
It has just occurred to me that, have you ever considered you're living on a haunted property?
We are, actually.
Yeah, we are. I'll tell you something that happened, but yeah, I think I know the difference between haunted and yowie, but I'll tell you something that happened years ago. We had a, what are they called, a beta system? Video recorder?
Oh, that wasn't that one. That was the VHS.
Oh, it was the VHS. Okay, yeah. So it was an early VHS. We put a videotape in, and it started rewinding on its own for no reason. And the counter would normally go to what, like 3,000? This went to like 7,000 or something. It was spinning fast. It was going, rewinding like nuts, and we were freaking out like, this is a brand new machine. What do we do to fix it, And it's the only time that ever happened. But we've had electrical interferences before. We've had an electrician from the electrical company come and check out our house, and there's no problem with the electric.
And that's the room furthest away from the
That's
power
the room furthest away from the power box too. Yeah, it used to be a garage that was converted into a bedroom. It's very weird.
The video didn't just do that.
No.
It fast forwarded.
Yeah, I've got it.
Stopped.
Rewound. Yeah.
Stopped.
Yeah. Can you hear that, Cade?
Yeah, clear as day.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't actually rewinding or fast forwarding, but the counter, digital counter, was flicking at a phenomenal rate forward and backwards, and it just kept doing that. And then eventually, the tape decided to eject itself.
I would have thrown that damn thing out, man.
No, but that's the only time it ever happened.
Banging on the walls at that stage.
Yes,
too.
he was getting banging on the walls at night. He'd get like
bang,
bang, bang, bang, bang, bang, bang, and then he'd feel like he'd been touched. I've actually felt like I've been touched on my back and my shoulders in the house too, but it freaks you out for a few minutes, but then you forget about it,
I don't think I would forget about that.
It's not, well, you do after a couple of months. It's not as bad as it sounds. It doesn't happen all the time. The yowie thing freaks us out,
The yowie thing's only been happening for a couple of years.
Yeah, I know, but it could have been
other things.
But I mean, we've lived here over 30 years. It could have been following me my whole life, because I used to walk through the bush all the time, sometimes by myself, sometimes with one or two people. One day, now, I've just heard recently on Oriented, I think it was AYR said it, people getting disoriented in the bush, like they've been influenced by the Yowie's infrasound or whatever they do. Now, that happened to me once. There was no reason that I would get lost in that area, and I did. It's freaky.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of infrasound, because it's a genuine thing. Like it exists in the world. There's tigers, there's elephants that produce infrasound. I need to learn more about it, because I just don't know all the effects that it has. I hear all the the things that you hear when people have, Bigfoot encounters, Sasquatch encounters when it comes, and of course, Yowie encounters when it comes to the infrasound kind of buzzing them. But it's such a weird phenomenon. I think it's really, really cool, but definitely would not want to experience it, because I reckon it would shock you pretty well.
Yeah, well, I never actually detected it in any way. I just sorry, I'm shutting. No, just leave it, Brad. We need some air. I never really detected it like attacking me or something. I just think that might have happened, because I have no idea how I got disoriented the way I did and got lost in that area. And I've been there before,
Maybe your brother swapped out the water with some vodka, mate. He's playing tricks on you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Anyhow, so how I got out was I said, well, this side's got a gas pipeline, this side's got a fire trail, and this side's got a railway. All I got to do is walk straight in one direction until I find the track or the railway, and then I'm out. And that's how I did it, But yeah, it's just weird that I got lost like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck with the new year, and you're on season 13.
Yeah, season 13, mate. Lucky number 13.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling in, Shane, and also to your anonymous, so not anonymous brother in the background.
Yeah, okay. He can hear all this. Okay, yeah. All right. I'll see you later.
No worries, mate. You have a great night.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Cheers, mate. It's always fun to hear from Shane. He must just live in this like super hot pocket of just weird activity. So I don't know, Shane. Maybe you should reach out to some of the AYR boys in your area, because I don't know like the exact area, and of course I don't want you to say it on air or in any public forum, because you'll have all the yowie nuts at your place trying to go crazy for it. But definitely getting in touch with the right people, and have a chat with them, because if that property is as active as as the stories are coming out, it would be incredible to to get a team there. Like imagine what you and your brother are achieving and experiencing. I, the mind wanders at what you would experience with a team there. So yeah, that should be your goal for 2022, man. Get an investigation team out that way, because I think it would really shake things up on your property. Either the thing may move on, or you may find some really decent evidence out there. It's an exciting prospect. So yeah, good luck, Shane. I hope you have a cracker of a 2022, mate. And thank you again for calling in. It was great to chat to you, as always, my friend. So I guess to continue what I was trying to say there earlier, Mr. Dean Harrison, Mr. AYR himself, popped up to Cairns and had a lovely, my gosh, the world is not letting me tell this story. We got another caller. Let's get them live and on the air. Caller, what's your name and where you from?
It's Michelle. I'm from Brisbane.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Who am I speaking to?
Kate.
Cade.
Yes.
Hello, Cade. I was waiting for you to say I've got a call online.
I did. You must have missed me.
Oh, okay. Well, hello, Cade. How you going? It's Miss Shelley Fell here.
Yes. How are you?
That's my name on Facebook. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just got a quick little question. You asked us the other day what was our favourite episode from this year.
Yeah.
No, sorry, from 21. And I said it was season 11, episode 1, which was the school ground Yowie attack.
Ah, yes.
Was that from last year or previous years?
Oh, good question. All these episodes blur for me because I record them, some of them so far in advance. Guests on the show would definitely tell you that they've spoken to me, but they haven't heard their episode for months. And then it might drop 6 months later. But that was season 11, episode 1. So you know what? That definitely would have been last year.
Wow, it feels like it was 3 years ago that I first heard that, because I was telling someone about it and I thought I'll listen to it again because it was a really good one. That one was. Yeah,
no, it was really fantastic actually. I need to get Ewan, who was the gentleman on that episode, to contact AYR about his encounter, because he had a lot of trouble finding any records about what happened there, but. Apparently there was police reports and all of that, as you would know from the episode. So, I need to actually pass those details onto the AYR crew, who might be able to do a much better job. They know how to research. I'm just a dude who talks to people. They should, I should pass those details on. I'll have to obviously get the permission from the individual, but yeah, that's a cracker of an episode to have as your favourite from last year, Michelle.
That was one of the best ones I've heard, and the one which was, I think, from your very first episodes was when the girl was getting chased by a Yowie on her bike, on a push bike.
Yeah, that's I remember that one. That's season 5, episode 10. That was very good too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a listener favorite. Yeah. It was it's still one of the most downloaded episodes of all time. So definitely
all right, Kate. Good one. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask you. So happy New Year and hello everyone, and happy New Year to everyone else.
Yeah, happy New Year to you too, and thank you so much for calling in. It was lovely to hear from you.
Okay, thanks, Kate. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Just a heads up, guys. When you call me, you know who you're calling. Oh, Michelle, I love you. You're great. I love you. But damn, you damn near killed me there. Okay. So back to where I was trying to talk about Dean came up to Cairns with his family there, and we caught up for coffee. We teed up a time to do another video episode. I don't know if it was going to be a live one or not. We didn't actually get into the that nitty gritty part because unfortunately, the poor bugger became a close contact while visiting one of the smallest towns in far north Queensland, up at Port Douglas. So he had to isolate in Paradise. Unfortunately, I feel sorry for the bloke. What a terrible situation to be in. But yes, we'll definitely be catching up and doing some more episodes in this new year. In what capacity, I don't know yet, but we'll figure something out. There's some cool things going on, and Dean just has so much evidence, and I guess his files and databases are just through the roof. So it'll be good to share maybe some of the evidence that hasn't seen the public eye, because I still got that folder on my desktop that you brought in from the last live stream. So mate, next time you have some free time, let me know, because I can we'll tee something up, and we'll do another walkthrough, because a lot of people like that episode, and I enjoyed it. I've been in worse company. Just kidding. So guys, I'm going to read to you one of my favorite UFO encounters of all time. And what's so cool about this UFO encounter is it happened an hour and a half down the road from where I live. So I don't know if let me know in the chat if you know the Tully saucer nest UFO story, because it's one of Australia's oldest UFO encounters from memory, and it is one of the best, I think. Am I being biased because it was just down the road? Maybe, but I also just think it's super, super cool. So someone has asked me here in the chat. So also, guys, if you have any questions for me, put them in the chat, because I will try to answer them. I'll get to them as best I can. Actually, someone says, if you enjoy Cade's work, please hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, do that. That would be great. I don't know like all those cool things for YouTube yet, so yeah, do that. It would be super beneficial, especially if you subscribe to the show, because that really does help. And of course, share it everywhere. Just piss as many people off by sharing it. You share it that much. So look, it looks like some people do know the Tully, or at least heard of the Tully saucer nest. So it actually, Jeff has asked, happened in the 70s and 80s. My friend, it actually happened in the 60s, 1966. So let me get my best reading voice on, and I do apologize, because I swear I'm like 90% dyslexic. So let's hope this is a good 10% that I'm going to be reading in. So here we go. Here's the encounter of the Tully saucer nest. At 9 a.m. on January 19th, 1966, a calm, sunny day, a 28-year-old banana farmer named George Pedley was driving a tractor near Horseshoe Lagoon on the property of Albert Panizzi near Tully, in tropical far north Queensland, Australia. When he was about 25 yards from the lagoon, he heard a loud, hissing sound above the noise of the tractor. Suddenly, an object rose up out of the swamp, and when I glanced at it, it was already 30 feet above the ground and at about treetop level. It was a large grey, saucer-shaped object, convex on the top and bottom, and measured some 25 feet across and 9 feet high. While I watched it, it rose another 30 feet, spinning very fast. Then it made a shallow dive and took off with tremendous speed. Climbing at the angle of 45 degrees, it disappeared within seconds in a southwesterly direction. Another surprise came when Pedley rounded the bend on the road and came to the spot from which the object had risen. There in the lagoon was a large circular area that was clear of reeds and in which the water was rotating slowly. It had not been like that 3 hours earlier when he had passed the lagoon. After looking around, he got back in the tractor and left. A few hours later, at about noon, Pedley returned to the lagoon for a second look. The scene had changed, because now the circular area was covered by a floating mass of green reeds that were distributed in a clockwise radial pattern. The circular mass of reeds was about 30 feet in diameter. Pedley was now excited enough about what he was seeing to go and tell Albert Panizzi, the owner of the sugarcane farmland on which the lagoon was located, and another friend. Panizzi recalled that his dog had acted strangely that morning, barking madly and heading off towards the lagoon at about 5:30 a.m. Panizzi and the other man were amazed by the circular mass of reeds. Wading out to the mass, geez, they got in this one, crazy. Wading out to the mass, they found out that they could swim under the mass of reeds and that the lagoon beneath it was smooth and showed no traces of roots. Those guys are crazy. Oddly, the outside edges of the mass of the reeds angled down, similar to the shape of the saucer placed face down. Panizzi went and got his camera and took photographs of the mass of reeds, which was now beginning to turn brown on the top surface. George Pedley reported his experience to the Tully police that evening, and they turned in the report to the RAAF after making a trip to the site the next day, on January 20th. Within days, the media had picked up the event and the area was filled with investigators, many of whom were trying to prove theories that this was of course the nest of such helicopters, big birds, crocodiles, reed-eating grubs, and whirlwinds of one sort or another. Pedley's UFO sighting was all but overlooked in the flurry of explanations. During the course of the investigations, as many as 5 other nests, all smaller than the original, were discovered. In some of these, the reeds were rotated in a counterclockwise direction, and a couple of them showed signs of burning in the center of the nest. Samples of the original nest were sent to Brisbane for analysis, but nothing unusual was detected. Other than being part of the nest, the only unusual thing about the reeds was that they were turned brown in about 8 hours, whereas reeds uprooted by hand in the lagoon usually took 3 days to turn brown. In another unusual twist, Albert Panizzi told a reporter from the Sydney Australian newspaper that The Sun, that he had been dreaming about a UFO landing on his property for a week. I'll get them almost every night, and they were beginning to worry me. I couldn't understand them, and it was always the same. This thing was like a giant dish that would just come out of nowhere and land nearby. And I would watch it in my dream, and get real afraid before it went away. Then on Wednesday morning, at about 5 o'clock, my dog suddenly seemed to go out of his mind. It was howling like mad, and then raced off towards the lagoon. What happened at Horseshoe Lagoon? There was never any evidence that there were ever helicopters in the area, nor demonstrated any reason for one to be over the lagoon. There was no evidence that crocodiles made the nests, and analysis of the reeds from the nests showed no trace of reed-eating grubs. There was no known bird that could or would make such a nest in 3 hours. The best explanation that the RAAF could offer was that the nest was created by a willy-willy, which is basically a small type of whirlwind known in the air, like a mini tornado. I don't know if you get them down south or not, but heaps of them up here all the time. Although a conclusive determination could not be made, the most probable explanation was that the sighting was a willy-willy or or a circular wind phenomenon which had flattened the reeds and sucked up the debris to a height of about 30 feet, thus forming what appeared to be a flying saucer. Before moving on and dissipating, Hissing noises are known to be associated with willy willies, and the theory is also sustained by the clockwise configuration of the depression. However, such whirlwinds, except when they occur in the dust as dust devils, normally accompany thunderstorms. And although the Tully event occurred during the rain season, January 19th was a sunny day with little or no wind. Pedley described what he saw as a blue-grey object shaped like two saucers face to face. This description doesn't sound like a whirling mass of swamp debris, and there was no falling debris in the area where the dissipation will have occurred. Finally, how does a whirlwind explanation account for the fact that the water was clear when Pedley looked for the first time, yet was covered by the mass of reeds when he looked again 3 hours later? Well, personally, I think the wind could have just blown some reeds in. I think that's an easy explanation there. But I do love that story. I just love that it was instantly dismissed. Like, nope, can't be a UFO. No way, Jose. And they just came in trying to... It's amazing that so many people came to discredit it from the get-go. Super, super weird. It's also really interesting to know that I don't know if this would have been there at the time, but Tully is known for its army bases. Tully is known to have Yowie protocols in their army books, in their training modules. This has been confirmed by a couple of people who have seen it in there. Confirmed to me, also confirmed to the AYR crew as well. So if anyone out there has a copy of that book, send it in. We want it so badly because that's official government material with how to deal with the damn Yowie. So yeah, that's in there. So back to the Tully saucer nest. Holy moly, I just love this story, and I love it happened down the road. I think these two dudes are madmen jumping in the water because, you know what, I guess they're not thinking, that could be super radioactive or anything like that. You know, this is the 60s. They're probably just too busy wondering about when the Rolling Stones are going to release their next amazing album. Probably back then it would have been the Beatles. But yeah, I really do love the Tully saucer nest. I mean, it's just so rural. It's just so I think it's just so laid back in like the entire approach. I feel like there's probably a little bit of, since it's trying to be what would you call it, hyped up a little bit by the owner of the land by saying I was having dreams for a week and blah blah blah. It's like, I feel like that might be a little bit of a just trying to build some potential hype around the situation. Could he have been having dreams? Absolutely. I'm not the bloke. I can't tell you if it's, true or not. But yeah, it is a super, super cool encounter. And one that, there is photographs of these nests and everything like that. Let me know what you think of it. I mean, I could probably barely read that out, so I do apologize for that. But what's your thoughts on the Tully saucer nest? Do you think that could be something completely real, or do you think that could be something that is maybe it could be confused? Because who knows? That's the amazing thing about UFOs, because I just recently went on the Paranormal Portal podcast. Go over there, check them out. They do a super, super good job. And I kind of raised the viewpoint that I think UFO encounters, essentially they could almost be anything, because, it's really down to the individual's perception of what's going on. Maybe it really could have been reeds up in the sky, but this guy, who knows? who knows, you know, the zeitgeist is very, very powerful, and it can really manipulate your mind and how you think things should be. So, you know, if you do have an encounter or anything like that, take a moment to be in the moment, rather than maybe try. I know that's so much easier said than done. So there's a guy on the computer behind his microphone, but yeah, you know, I think the human consciousness plays a huge role with these types of encounters, because, you know, I genuinely believe that these types of encounters can, like, break a mind. You know, you're seeing something that's not supposed to be real, something that's not supposed to exist. You know, it's paradigm breaking, you know. So I am going to go to the chat here, because I just want to see what people are thinking, or if they have any questions. So someone said here in the chat that I think you'd go missing if you took that book, Kate. So do I. Worth it? Let's give it a go. Yes, no, I would. I'd have to. I wonder if there's like any treason laws around that. Maybe that's something. Maybe someone send it to Snowden and just add it onto that poor bloke's list. Really feel for that guy, but what can you do? Okay, so someone up here did ask a question. So a scary voice, please. You know what? Depending on who you ask, maybe creepy. Who knows? Yeah, it looks like some people have heard of the Tully Saucer Nest story, so that's super cool. Where is this? Might have had this question, but what's your thoughts on the Nephilim? Phew. Man, I don't know. The Nephilim. The thing is, I'm probably not educated enough about it to really have an opinion. Mostly because I'm not an overly religious man. So for me to look into this type of stuff, it's you know, it's really hard. You know, it's kind of like the Condor Giants and stuff like that. You know, like all these things kind of follow that same type of path. It's all. That was weird. Yeah, some weird stuff going on in the studio. But yeah, it's. I don't know, you know, like, should I look into the Nephilim? Like, is it worth looking into it? From my understanding, it was like a, and absolutely tell me if I'm butchering this, but it is kind of like a race of people, like an advanced race of people have left Earth, and they will come back at some point to do who knows what. But that's my extreme layman's terms of it. Like I said, I apologize if that was like maybe not the most PC way of explaining it. But yeah, you know, it's just I don't know. It's just something that I'll look into it. I'm sure there's like a billion bloody documentaries I can watch about that. I'm sure there's 100,000 guests I could get on the show about it too, because you know, I'm making connections in the big UFO world, which will be very, very cool. So Shane says, I'm sending you my ghost cade. You take that shit back, Shane. I don't want it. It is yours. Return to sender. Drew Bucker. I like that. Very clever. Cheers for answering, Cade. 100% worth looking into. I'll do it. I'm definitely going to do it. So yeah. just use Jeffrey's one says just use a voice synthesizer, Cade. Then you can do any voice. The Knowles family UFO was out there. Could have been. Who knows? It is. You know what? I would have loved to get the Knowles family on my podcast, but they have done the world's best job of disappearing from the internet. The supposed last contact with them was over in United States about 10 or so years ago. And that's about it, because could you imagine hearing that told so many years later? It would have been beautiful. But you know what? Every person that comes on the guest is everyone that comes on the podcast is beautiful, and their stories are amazing. You know, I don't pick and choose. I think everyone's stories are worth sharing. So, look, guys, I think I'm gonna tie it up for tonight. We have a call coming in, but it's too late. It's too late. I have other arrangements after this, so I do apologize. Guys, let's do this again. How about we do this on the first Friday of next month? Call it a date and lock it in. Rain, hail, or shine, or C19. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, look, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love doing this. I love hanging out with you guys, and I love chatting to to anyone who comes in and shares their encounter live on the air. You know, it is so good, and I feel so honored to do that. So, look, guys, if you want more stuff like this, getting on the terps, mate, I hope. Look, yes. Yes, I am. I have about 38 beers waiting for me. And, you know, it's cans. You know, they just evaporate. So you got to drink them before that happens. So that's what I'll be doing with some friends. But yeah, look, it's been so fantastic hanging out with everyone tonight. Thank you so much. If you like what you hear, like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification thing. Oh, no, where's it? Like over this way for those watching the video. Join Believe Plus if you want. You don't have to, but it helps. It helps me get one step closer to doing this full time, and that just means more content. But the best thing that you can honestly do is share the show. Share the show with a friend of the genre, and let them know, hey, do you like spooky stuff? Do you like incredible stories of the unknown? Check out this show, because it might be right up your alley. And you know what? It might just get us our next guest. So that is why it's so crucial for every person out there to share it just with one person. So look, guys, it has been great. I'm getting thirsty. I'm sipping water, but it ain't doing the job. So I'm going to head off now. Have a fantastic weekend. I will see you guys in the hit me up in the Discord. I'm going to hang out in Discord for a little bit. So has anyone else here on the Discord? Let me know. I'm going to jump on there. I'll be on there for a little while. And, you know, let's all chat. Let's just chat like old school. That'll be cool. That'll be super cool. So, all right, guys, have a fantastic night. Keep listening to the podcast. Subscribe if you haven't. Share it with a friend. Join Believe Plus if you want some cool stuff. And,